Okay, we are live. What is the Build Back Better? Let's see. The House passed Build Back Better Act includes funding for NLIHC's top priorities. One, 25 billion to expand rental assistance to more than 300,000 households. Okay. 65 billion to preserve public housing for its 2.5 million residents and 15 billion for the National Housing Trust Fund to build and preserve over 15,000 affordable accessible homes for households with the lowest incomes. Okay. I swear I saw something. Darn it. Wait, hold up. Instagram is propaganda. I'm looking for profiles. Profile following. Done it. Propaganda. Source his name on here. I know where to find it. Lecrae. Lecrae. Following. I don't know. I don't know. There was something in there. Hold on. Are you kidding me? You're absolutely kidding me. Okay. Well, oh. Propaganda. Propaganda. Stop. No. Let me see. Reading something. Oh my gosh. I can't find it anywhere. I was looking for something, but okay, so a 25 billion to expand rental assistance to more than 300,000 households. So effectively, that will help poorer people, poorer people rent. So in effectiveness, that helps him get more loans, right? That might be not such a good thing, which how much a loan every American is already in. 65 billion to preserve public housing for its 2.5 million residents. Public housing. What is public housing? I feel like I'm gonna be dimwit. What is public housing? Ah, I misspelled. Public housing. Housing provided for people with low incomes and subsidized by public funds. Okay, so essentially it's more of a mortgage loan. Wait, let me see. 65 billion to preserve. So it's wait, let me hold on. Housing provided for people with low income. So it's paid by tax. There's this upper. There's this. Wait, hold on. Public housing is state-owned affordable rental houses or apartments. It's intended for families with low-income seniors and people with disabilities. Found nationwide, public housing comes in all sizes and types, from single-family houses to high-rise apartments. Okay, okay, wait, hold on. So, it'll give the government will start more houses, and it could help people. That provides people to live there for a lower price, or maybe help for free. Okay, maybe that's good because we want to get homeless people out of the streets. Okay, 15 billion for the National Housing Trust Fund to build and preserve over 15,000 affordable, accessible homes for household with the lowest income. Oh yes, yes. See, the the housing, the real estate right now is so expensive, so competitive that it's almost like the government must step in because it's gotten so bad. So this is kind of good, but why is it dead? Let's hear from this guy who opposed it before, like last year. I didn't even know about this till I read about it when I was looking at articles for something else for ALC.
It's good. Senator Joe Manchin says Build Back Better is gone. Roll that tape.
We're not going to spend any more money, I can assure you that. We've spent enough. We're $30.5 trillion of debt. We've got to get our debt under control. If you want to get inflation under control, control your debt.
Are you and Leader Schumer still talking about Build Back Better?
I talk to everybody.
You talk to everybody, but specifically about Build Back Better?
No Build Back Better, it's gone.
All right.
Ah, did you hear that? There's no Build Back Better.
It's gone?
It's gone. Jason Chaffetz with me now. You heard the senator. Build Back Better. Gone. Do you believe it?
Yeah, I think the senator is right on that, but let's be careful here. There are other bills that are in the mix that spend billions and billions of dollars, and what never enters the discussion, Stuart, is where are we going to cut? What are we going to cut in other places? How come there isn't something? Are you telling me out of the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that there isn't somewhere that we can actually cut some spending, Senator? That's what's missing in this equation.
You'll never, ever see spending cuts from this administration. That is just my opinion, but I think they've got a track record of increasing spending. Let's move on. President Biden calls for a 3-month suspension of the federal gas tax. Former President Obama called that a gimmick. What do you make of it?
Wait. What did he say? Let me wait.
Senator, that's what's missing in this equation.
You'll never, ever.
Of dollars that there isn't somewhere that we can actually cut some spending, Senator? That's what's missing in this equation.
You'll never, ever see spending cuts from this administration. That is just my opinion.
How come there isn't something? Are you telling me out of the trillions and trillions
Really need to get this.
billions and billions of dollars, and what never enters the discussion, Stuart, is where are we going to cut? What are we going to cut in other places? How come there isn't something? Are you telling me out of the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that there isn't somewhere that we can actually cut some spending, Senator? That's what's missing in this equation.
You'll never.
True. Yeah, true. We're in a standstill right now. Neither side can really pass anything without having a majority in the specific type of government because everybody's at each other's throats right now. If only we could come together and help make stuff better for people, honestly.
Never, ever see spending cuts from this administration. That is just my opinion.
Not just this administration, though. It's fairly like both sides just pulling up at each other, not just this administration's fault, even though this administration has been pretty hard on keeping what they want to spend. True, I guess, to a certain extent. But I would like to say there's a bigger problem here.
But I think they've got a track record of increasing spending. Let's move on. President Biden calls for a 3-month suspension of the federal.
Some things that my fellow conservatives need to do is like, guys, sometimes they need to realize that it takes money. It takes money to solve things. And yes, cutting down can also help, but in the same form, like also you can't do stuff without a significant amount of money. It's what runs the world. So we need to just earn money, I guess. I don't know how we'll fix this, but cutting isn't always the best thing, but it can be a very good thing, especially with inflation. Maybe we should focus on inflation and fix that and then do this. I don't even know. It's just two points of views, and nobody will want to hear the other side, really.
Gas tax. Former President Obama called that a gimmick. What do you make of it?
President Obama is right on it. It is a total gimmick. It is not meant to do anything other than be able to have a talking point. It doesn't solve the underlying problem. And shame on Joe Biden to suggest to Chevron or anybody else out there in the marketplace that refining capacity is just something they can flip a switch on and make happen. They have absolutely no clue how the industry actually works. And instead of having I call it Operation Lightning Strike, do something like Trump did to bring back a vaccine. Biden doesn't actually want to solve this problem. Tapping into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, doing the gas tax holiday, those do nothing to actually solve the underlying problem of being able to produce more and be energy independent.
They don't want to close the border. They love $5 gas. That's my opinion. Jason Chaffetz, thanks for being with
Hmm. Oh my gosh. Is that the end? Yeah, yeah. But like, I don't even know what to say to this. Like, yes, they're failing in gas, but at the same point, he brings up border. It's so retarded. He brings up border for no reason. Like, oh, he doesn't want to close the border, so obviously that means gas. No, that's retarded. It's because he's failed at gas and has decided to take moral standpoints instead of better standpoints for the country. So he's destroyed it a lot, a lot. So honestly, like it's not immigrant. Honestly, I feel like if we didn't have this retarded takes, then we would have more Hispanic voters because they want the same things we want. Here's the problem: we won't work with the other side. We need to find out what's better for the country, not better for our Pacific Party. You know, like it's weird. It's so weird. Honestly, like I wish we could just come together for 1 second and like realize what's better. I mean, usually immigrants are willing to work for a lot less. They're willing to do the jobs we don't want, and they're willing to work their butts off. Why is this game not responding? What the heck? Honestly, my gosh, I don't even know. Honestly, yeah, we could do a lot better with this because I think Spanish could definitely help, and we need to find a way between both sides to find a good way to get immigrants in because they want to come to the country too, but we have to do it in a safe way where Biden just said open border and now he doesn't even let anybody in almost, but it's still open border. It's so confusing, but like we need to find a good way for both. Honestly, we can't just say open border and handle it like horribly because that won't work. Honestly, I'll just play the game now because if I get this game to load, let's look at some more politics. Oh my gosh. Are you gonna load? Gosh. Load. See what happened to AOC. AOC on running for president. Let's see. Let's see.
Fruity, sweet, savory, mildly spicy, tangy.
Tahini chamoy sauce. Impossible to describe in one word, delicious to enjoy. Tahini it.
Let's see.
Hey everybody, we're back here, right there. It's Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Couple quick things before we go. You know, there's some speculation as to whether President Biden is going to run in 2024. There's some reports that he's a little frustrated that people keep asking because he keeps on saying yes, and people go, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" You know, I know somebody who's going to turn 35 about a month before the election in 2024. And they represent New York's 14th. Is that job appealing to you at all?
I think that...
Theoretically.
Listen, I think that we need to focus on keeping a democracy for anybody to be president
She does not want to run.
in the next couple of years. And that's my sense.
Does being a congresswoman pay more? But
Central focus is helping the people of this country. Right
So
now.
it's possible.
I don't know about all that. Well, I don't know about
I'm just here to get you in trouble.
Exactly, you're
That's
getting
my
me in
job,
trouble.
get you in
I don't
trouble.
know about all that.
Okay, before we go, first of all, best wishes. I understand that you just got engaged. That's wonderful news.
maybe she won't because it knows it'll anger her peers. But I have no idea.
Thank you.
That's nice. How are the plans going?
You know, it's a little tough right now to plan something with all this going on,
And
but
supply chain issues.
Yes,
obviously.
supply chain
Exactly. You can't get
issues.
baby breath this time of year.
but we're really excited, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out along the way. It's going to be very interesting planning a wedding while serving in Congress, but I'm sure others have done it before, and we'll do it in the future.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Lovely to see you. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, everybody.
Gee, so he doesn't want to run, but a lot of people say that right before the run runs. We really don't know. So all the things that's going around, she dodges it. It's pointless. People just want more views, honestly. Is there anything else to report on? Huh. This Dems bomb fell. Witness plobs. Oh. Jan 6 hearing. Watch live. Oh, former aide testifies. Okay, whatever.
Stop overpaying for sunglasses. It's crazy that the most
President Trump knew the protesters were heavily armed on January 6th. Security officials told him exactly that they had guns, knives, and spears. Yet knowing that, the former president still told the angry mob of his supporters to march onto the Capitol. And when his...
No. He's in trouble for screaming at somebody to try to get him down there to calm everybody down. This is just a flat out lie.
His plans to join them were rebuffed. He got physical with his own security service.
Yeah, so why are you trying to paint a false story and then still getting in trouble for the thing that is true? What?
That in stunning testimony from a top aide to then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Cassidy Hutchinson testified in front of the House January 6th committee today. She said she had significant access to the West Wing and to conversations, meetings, and calls of White House officials. She said days before January 6th, her boss and others knew about the risk of violence. She described her first inkling that January 6th could be bad. It was January 2nd, just days before the insurrection. She said Rudy Giuliani told her that the 6th was going to be a great day and that the president was going to the Capitol.
I remember leaning against the doorway and saying, I just had an interesting conversation with Rudy. Mark, sounds like we're going to go to the Capitol. He didn't look up from his phone and said something to the effect of, there's a lot going on, Cass, but I don't know, things might get real bad on January 6th.
Hutchinson revealed Giuliani later dropped names of some of the extremist groups who would eventually attack the Capitol.
I recall hearing the word Oath Keeper and hearing the word Proud Boys closer to the planning of the January 6th rally when Mr. Giuliani would be around.
She also testified President Trump ordered Meadows to meet with General Michael Flynn, who admitted he lied to the FBI, and the self-proclaimed dirty trickster Roger Stone the day before the insurrection. They'd set up a sort of war room at the Willard Hotel in D.C. Roger Stone is known to have had ties with the Oath Keepers. The committee reports the group provided him security on the 6th. Meadows had asked Hutchinson to start planning for him to meet with them at the hotel.
I had made it clear to Mr. Meadows that...
And still none proves anything about Trump. It's all about other people that might have been a little close to Trump, but that does not mean it was him. Jeez. Just because I'm close to somebody who does something bad doesn't mean I'm guilty by just knowing them. This is ridiculous.
I didn't believe it was a smart idea for him to go to the Willard Hotel that night. I wasn't sure everything that was going on at the Willard Hotel, although I knew enough about what Mr. Giuliani and his associates were pushing during this period. I didn't think that it was something appropriate for the White House Chief of Staff to attend or to consider involvement in.
And in the end, she said he didn't go, but said he would call into their meeting instead. On the morning of January 6th, Hutchinson says another White House aide warned her boss, Mark Meadows, the protesters were carrying weapons.
I recall Tony and I having a conversation with Mark probably around 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m., where I remember Tony mentioning knives, guns in the form of pistols and rifles, bear spray, body armor, spears, and flagpoles. Spears were one item, flagpoles were one item that then Tony had relayed to me. Something to the effect of, and these effing people are fastening spears onto the ends of flagpoles.
Hutchinson testified Mark Meadows received other warnings before that as well.
So at the time, in the days leading up to the 6th, there were lots of public about go back on the 6th, and even potential for violence. If I'm hearing you correctly, what stands out to you is that Mr. Meadows did not share those concerns, or at least did not act on those concerns.
Did not act on those concerns would be accurate.
Hutchinson went to the Ellipse on January the 6th, where President Trump was giving his rally speech. She said she was behind the stage with the president, other White House officials, and Trump family members. She described metal detectors, or mags as she called them, around the perimeter of the event, standard practice for a presidential event. She said security officials told them a lot of the president's supporters weren't entering the Ellipse because they didn't want to give up their weapons. Hutchinson testified that made President Trump furious.
This is a practical right-wing, assembly, political event. They're gonna bring firearms to show what they love and what they care about, what they like to show off. that does not make them guilty just because they might have had weapons, okay? That's retarded.
He wanted the.
If they had that many guns, then they would have killed the officer instead of one of the officers killing them, which I don't think the officer was wrong, but I think, was an officer killed? I don't know, but they would have been way more successful if they had real guns, okay? If they had the weapons you talk about, they would have been way more successful.
Arena that we had on the ellipse to be maxed out at capacity for all attendees. The advance team had relayed to him that the mags were free-flowing. Everybody who wanted to come in had already come in, but he still was angry about the extra space and wanted more people to come in.
And she testified she heard President Trump say just ahead of that speech, he didn't care if they had weapons. Let them in.
I was in the vicinity of a conversation where I overheard the president say something to the effect of, you know, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in. Take the effing mags away.
Hutchinson also testified that throughout the day on
Okay. But that does not mean that he was trying to encourage anything. Well, he did encourage some later, but should Obama be held responsible when after he talked about how there's systemic things wrong with the cops, people kill cops? No. Yes, maybe he should be held accountable for saying that. Yo, maybe you shouldn't say that. Or maybe he should be able to say what he wants. But it's bad. But at the same time, he didn't commit the action. Other people did. He shouldn't be held accountable, but he should be held somewhat accountable. Okay. Oh my gosh. Like, this is so retarded. And just because he wanted people in his rally doesn't mean he wanted them to attack the Capitol. Yeah, because he's pretty passionate about his supporters, okay? That does not make him a criminal.
January 6th, the president believed he would be going to the Capitol with the protesters after the speech, just as he said. But in the days leading up to the riot, the White House legal team adamantly advised against that. The morning of the 6th, here's what Hutchinson says the White House counsel Pat Cipollone told her.
Mr. Cipollone said something to the effect of, please make sure we don't go up to the Capitol, Cassidy. Keep in touch with me. We're going to get charged with every crime imaginable if we make that movement happen.
And do you remember which crimes, Mr.
Thank you.
True. My gosh, I haven't. There we go. Okay. Yeah. He check. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Mr. Cipollone was concerned with?
In the days leading up to the 6th, we had conversations about potentially obstructing justice or defrauding the electoral count.
Every crime imaginable if we make that move happen.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, you have it. You have it wrong. That's right. He frauds to believe the election fake because he saw people trying to troll on TikTok, which he doesn't understand the internet very well. He's like 70, almost 80 or something. Like, yeah, he doesn't understand the internet, and he thinks that there was fraud because a couple TikTok people trolled and got thousands of dollars for printing fake ballots. Okay. So he thought that. So he's trying to defraud them, and trying to get them recounted. Does not mean he was trying to attack. He was just trying to spread awareness to his cause. This is retarded, and no legal, maybe a legal attorney would try this, but at the best you might get him for 1 or 2, but like no, it's not that.
According to Hutchinson, the president still planned to go. Secret Service deemed it unsafe and decided they would take the president back to the White House instead. Hutchinson said when she got back to the White House, another top aide described President Trump's aggressive reaction toward Bobby Engel. He's the head of the president's protective detail.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Renato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
Hutchinson described
that.
the moment rioters were closing in on the Capitol.
Wait. So he was trying to steer it back because he wanted to stop the people. And you're getting mad at him for this. What do you want? This is so retarded, honestly. Stop.
She said the White House counsel went straight to Mark Meadows, urging action.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
And I remember Pat saying to him something to the effect of, "The rioters have gotten to the Capitol, Mark. We need to go down and see the president now." And Mark looked up at him and said, "He doesn't want to do anything, Pat." And Pat said something to the effect of, and very clearly had said this to Mark, something to the effect of, "Mark, something needs to be done or people are going to die and the blood's going to be on your effing hands."
Today, Hutchinson also revealed.
Exactly. He wanted to go and Secret Service wouldn't let him. Should the criticism really be held to him? Some criticism for maybe getting people riled up, but not for not getting there because clearly he wanted to go there. The news covering is so retarded. Fire whoever this is, honestly.
That Rudy Giuliani and her boss, the Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, were among those who asked for a presidential pardon in the aftermath of January the 6th.
Did Rudy Giuliani ever suggest that he was interested in receiving a presidential pardon related to January 6th?
He did.
Ms. Hutchinson, did White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows ever indicate that he was interested in receiving a presidential pardon related to January 6th?
Ms. Meadows did seek that pardon. Yes, ma'am.
That is the closest look we've gotten into the inner workings of the White House on the day of the attack, the day the rioters breached the Capitol. CBC senior congressional correspondent Elon Moy now learning more about the push inside the White House for the president to call off the rioters.
Yes, Chef, there were 3 different camps who were trying to push the president in 3 very different directions on January 6th. Now, according to Hutchinson, one group was begging him to take action and call off those rioters. Another was more neutral. They wanted to condemn the violence, but knew that Trump wasn't going to do that right away. The third group she called deflect and blame. Hutchinson put her old boss, Mark Meadows, in that last category, even though he did end up in a more neutral posture. Now, publicly, we saw that fight play out with other officials, such as when Cabinet Secretaries Betsy DeVos and Elaine Chao eventually resigned. But it was also raging behind the scenes as top officials tried to convince Trump to talk to the American people the day after the attack on the Capitol.
I understand that he had a lot of opinions about what the context of that announcement were to entail. I had original drafts of the speech where there were several lines that didn't make it in there about prosecuting the rioters or calling them violent. He didn't want that in there. He wanted to put in there that he wanted to potentially pardon them.
Now, a pardon for the
Probably Yeah, a little weird, but probably because he thought that it would incite more violence. Okay, you don't tell violent people. You don't just start like calling violent people bad things because then they get more violent. Imagine if they thought that was for nothing. Imagine if they thought that was for nothing. What would they do next? They thought they had a cause and now they don't. What would they do next? Probably something worse. But also, he probably, I'm trying to say is I see his point of view, but he probably still should have, he should have called them out. But I'm just stating, like maybe he didn't. But yeah, that's a bad move on him. He should have called them out. But I'm saying could be bad. Yes, that's bad.
White House lawyers got that line removed from the statement, and Hutchinson told the committee one of the ways his advisors got Trump to do the video at all was to warn him that there was talk of using the 25th Amendment to remove him from office.
So the primary reason that I had heard, other than, we did not do enough on the 6th, we need to get a stronger message out there and condemn this, otherwise this will be your legacy. The secondary reason to that was, think about what might happen in the final 15 days of your presidency if we don't do this. There's already talks about invoking the 25th Amendment. You need this as cover.
I know.
Well, several potentially key witnesses have refused to provide testimony, including Mark Meadows. Today, the committee said
They better get this done.
provided sworn statements that they are feeling the pressure from Trump.
As long as I continue to be a team player, they know I'm on the right team. I'm doing the right thing. I'm protecting who I need to protect. You know I'll continue to stay in good graces in Trump world. He wants me to let you know he's thinking about you. He knows you're loyal, and you're going to do the right thing when you go in for your deposition.
Now, Shep Vice Chair Liz Cheney cautioned
Oh,
that
no.
trying to
Oh, no.
influence a witness to testify untruthfully presents very serious concerns.
Elon, what kind of response did we get?